Well, you guys, it finally happened. Donald Trump has entered his Gaddafi era. Rumor has it he's been trying to grow a goatee, but it hasn't worked, so he's just going to take some clippings from his head and glue them onto his chin. But if you're keeping track of Trump's plans for territorial expansion, he wants Canada to become the 51st state. He wants to acquire Greenland from Denmark. He wants to take control of the Panama Canal. He's threatened to use military force in Mexico. And now he wants to own the Gaza Strip. George W. Bush right now is probably thinking, hey man, I just did Iraq and called it a day.
Well, folks, Seth Meyers didn't just roast Donald Trump. He unleashed a full-blown comedic airstrike. This wasn't your typical late-night jab. No, this was a scorched earth, mic-detonating takedown so brutal even Trump's spray tan flinched. And somewhere out there, his hairpiece, probably drafting its resignation letter. Seth came armed, locked, loaded, and dripping with sarcasm. He torched Trump's wannabe dictator delusions, called out the bleach injection fever dreams, and turned every absurd flex into a punchline that hit harder than truth on Truth Social.
Donald Trump brags about many things, but when he was president the first time, there was probably nothing he bragged about more than the stock market.
I think we've created a stock market record 38 times or so, might be more than that, but 38 times we have a record stock market.
We're doing better financially than we've ever done. Our markets are hitting records all the time. I have many, many records of the highest stock market.
The stock market is way up again today, and we're setting a record literally all the time.
If comedy is a weapon, Seth was wielding a flamethrower. Let's talk stock market, shall we? Remember Trump's greatest hits? We've created a stock market record 38 times, maybe more. We're doing better financially than we've ever done. The markets are hitting records all the time. Yeah, like a malfunctioning Wall Street megaphone with a MAGA hat. Seth didn't even have to try hard to make that sound ridiculous. It already was. But here's the beauty. He didn't just pick the low-hanging fruit like Trump's fondness for fast food or those suspiciously orange cheeks. Nah, he went for the jugular, calling out the real threats. Authoritarian fantasies, the obsession with power, tariffs that boomeranged on Americans, government agents in unmarked vans, delusions of universal adoration from the farmers, still unconfirmed.
Masked agents snatching people off the street for opinions he doesn't like. He's musing about staying in office past the end of his term. He's abducting people with no criminal record and sending them to foreign prisons without due process. He's implementing arbitrary tariffs and admitting he couldn't care less if Americans pay higher prices. There is no clearer sign that someone is a psychopath than saying, I love you too, when nobody said I love you. If your grandpa did that, you'd sign him into Golden Acres tonight. Yeah, he just keeps saying that a farmer loves him, but we don't know any farmers.
Seth sliced through it all with laser precision satire. And then came that line, the one that'll echo in the halls of late-night history. There is no clearer sign that someone is a psychopath than saying, I love you too, when nobody said, I love you. Boom, that wasn't a joke. It was a national mood swing. The kind of moment that makes you pause and ask, did Seth just say what we've all been thinking since 2016? Yes. Yes, he did. It felt less like a monologue and more like 8 years of collective exasperation erupting in one glorious therapy session, disguised as comedy. Seth didn't hold back. And honestly, thank God for that.
Now, Trump getting roasted during the 2011 Correspondents' Dinner never gets old.
Donald Trump has been saying that he will run for president as a Republican, which is surprising since I just assumed he was running as a joke. Donald Trump often appears on Fox, which is ironic because a fox often appears on Donald Trump's head. If you're at the Washington Post table with Trump and you can't finish your entree, don't worry, the fox will eat it.
Seth Meyers and President Barack Obama humiliated Trump so badly that he never came back after the...
Because what do you do when faced with a narcissistic ex-president who thinks a Sharpie is a scientific tool? You bring jokes, surgical ones. Right about now, Trump's probably hammering away on Truth Social, calling Seth boring, low-rated, and maybe even accusing him of being part of the deep state comedy cabal. But let's be real. This wasn't about ratings. This was about accountability, late-night style. And if there's one thing we learned from this roast of biblical proportions, it's this. Sometimes, the best way to deal with the democracy-denying man-baby is with a camera, a razor-sharp wit, and zero mercy. So grab your popcorn and buckle the hell up. Because if Trump keeps running his mouth, Seth, and probably every other comic with a conscience, will keep bringing the heat. And if this latest takedown was any sign, the roast isn't over. It's just getting started. Oh, and if you live for this brand of savage truth-telling with a laugh track, Hit that like button and subscribe, because Justice Baby has never been so funny. Here's the thing about Seth Meyers. He's not just funny. He's surgical. And this time, he didn't just go after...
Musk doesn't have Trump's ability to always pretend that everything's going great. If Trump were in charge of Musk's company, he'd be saying, we're selling more Teslas than ever before. SpaceX just landed on Neptune. Now we're going straight to the sun. We're going to blow up the sun. No more solar panels. No more green new scam because the sun will be gone. No more woke. No more woke. You won't be woke because the sun will never be out. You'll always be asleep. We got rid of the sun. I remember the man in the moon came up to me, big moon.
Mr. Donald Trump the man. He went after Trumpism, that whole bloated balloon of ego, paranoia, gaslighting, and alternate facts that turned politics into a reality show America never asked for. This wasn't a roast. It was a reckoning. Seth took every deranged tweet, every all-caps tantrum, every press conference that felt like a fever dream, and held it up like a funhouse mirror. The message? This is what we became. And it's not normal. And Trump? Oh, he's definitely somewhere rage-ranting on Truth Social, probably misspelling unconstitutional while yelling into his phone like it owes him money. Meanwhile, Seth's somewhere sipping his cold brew, crafting his next monologue, and waiting for Trump to do what he always does. Serve up another punchline on a gold-plated platter. Because let's be real, Trump practically writes the material himself. This roast, it wasn't just late-night comedy. It was a televised exorcism. An exorcism of ego, of delusion, of spray-tanned chaos. The man who once declared, "No one knows more about insert topic here than me," finally got the one thing he's always feared. A spotlight that didn't flatter, but exposed. If Gmail had a junk mail mascot, Trump would be it. Arms crossed, shouting about witch hunts while trying to forward an Obama conspiracy email from 2003. And Seth? He deep-fried the former president in real time, served him up with a side of applause, and let the crowd marinate in sweet, cathartic laughter. It was so clean, so effortless, you could practically hear Sean Hannity weeping in the distance. And what made it legendary? Seth didn't even have to dig deep. Trump's entire public life is a blooper reel of failed scams, broken promises, and sound bites that read like Onion headlines. Seth just held it all up and said, "You see this? This actually happened." It wasn't exaggeration. It was exposure. No cheap shots, no gimmicks, just fact, wit, and the kind of delivery that leaves permanent scorch marks. Like someone finally said what we've all been muttering under our breath for years. Only funnier, and with way better timing. So next time someone brings up Trump's strong economy or leadership style with a straight face, feel free to remind them that Seth Meyers casually disassembled that entire legacy in one monologue. No yelling, no cursing, just cold, calculated comedy served with a wink. And somewhere deep in Mar-a-Lago, Trump's probably pacing the golf course, drafting a comeback tweet for a platform that doesn't even want him back. That's not just a roast, that's a career obituary, written in punchlines.